live from New York. It's a show that is back 3 days after our vacation. We are here.
You know what? You look awful tanned and rested.
Buddy,
for a
we
guy.
had vacation.
Not me. Mine's in about a week and a half. I was working. I was out there working.
This is like a rare baseball card. It's just great to see you.
You know what?
It's amazing.
It is. We have done a lot of shows.
Yeah.
I would venture that over the last 8.5 years on sports TV, nobody has a better attendance than me. Nobody.
I know.
Wow.
I wish I could say the same thing about the audience in those early
You
days.
know,
You were there.
Brew, he's saying,
Not so
Brew,
much.
you were a part of that.
No, Brew, no.
I
Once
come in
Brew
every
came, the
once
thing
in a
took
while.
off.
I came in every once in a while.
First
those
hour,
days.
first things first. We start at the end in LA. Magic take the lead in the fourth. Lakers have 7 seconds left after a timeout. Final play goes to Luka, who pump fakes it and then gives it to LeBron. I was like, what am I supposed to do with it? Shoots a turnaround three-pointer that misses. Are you surprised Luka and LeBron botched this? Or maybe they
LeBron didn't botch it.
No,
LeBron
that's true.
just caught it and threw up a desperation. It actually was a decent shot by him, a turnaround three with two guys on it.
Yeah.
Luka botched it, and yes, I'm surprised because Luka's been in bigger moments than this and hasn't had any issue. They called a play for him. They executed the play. They got him the open look right there, a shot obviously he can hit, and he just froze.
Yeah.
He punted. Now, I don't think he's lying. I do think, he obviously can shoot the ball from that distance. He said he was kind of far out, but that's because he just wasn't in rhythm. No matter where you're at on the court, you got to feel the rhythm. You got to kind of feet set, whatever. And he wasn't set. Now, that's not an excuse because it's his job. He knew the play.
Right.
He knew I was going to get it behind the three-point line, be ready to shoot it, be set, and he just wasn't ready. And so, I also got to say this. I don't think LeBron threw him under the bus. Some people are saying LeBron threw him under the bus. LeBron just said exactly what happened. And Luka said himself, it's on me.
Yeah.
I don't think that was insulting. I don't think he was criticizing Luka. I think he told it like it was. Now, I'll say this, Nick, for Luka. It's been a tough week for Luka.
Yeah.
Now, and people may feel like we've been critical of him. I've said,
Mostly
I think
you.
now it's on the board. He might not win a ring. I think that's on the board.
Yeah.
Chris Paul said, I'm taking SGA over Luka and all that stuff. But here's the deal. The honeymoon's over. Luka, and maybe people would say that when he left Dallas, that was the case because that obviously rocked his world. But when you enter the NBA as a top player, your first phase is establish yourself as either a star or a superstar, okay? He established himself as a superstar. Then you get the bag, you get that max deal and all that. Nobody's caring about winning early. Cooper Flagg's playing great. Nobody cares that they're losing every game. He puts up huge numbers in. Because LeBron missed the playoffs first 2 years. Nobody cares. Your first job as a young star, establish that you are a star in this league. Now he's got the bag. He's been, all NBA and all that stuff. Now he's at the phase where, okay, it's about winning. Are you going to win? Because that's what separates the immortals from the other all-time great players, right? Do you win? And so now, look, we're going to give Luka love for his numbers. We all are going to acknowledge he's a great individual player. He may win an MVP or more than that, whatever. But until he wins a ring, he's going to be over-scrutinized and over-criticized, and people are going to nitpick at his game, every little bit of his game that might be holding him back from winning. It happened to LeBron. It's happened to James Harden. It happened to Allen Iverson, Ewing, Jordan, whoever. That's what Jordan, they said, he could score, but he doesn't win and all that. So that's the phase Luka's at, and it's tough. And then on top of that, Nick, he's a Laker. Yeah. So now with the Lakers, you got to win it. So, I said it when LeBron went there. You better win a championship because all of them except Elgin Baylor won a championship with the Lakers.
All right, so let me respond to that and then get to the end of the play. Mm-hmm. So I agree with all that. I also think it is important to remind the audience that for another few days, he's 26. Most of those guys that we talked about, the legends, did not win, had not won
He came in earlier, though.
He didn't come in earlier than Bron.
No, but Bron took Bron a long time. Ninth year. For LeBron, that was a long time.
No, correct. And then he ended up winning a bunch, is my point. Jordan obviously came in older, but didn't win until he's 27. Luka, up until this season, I would argue, has been at or ahead of schedule. As far as making a finals, making another deep playoff run. When you compare him to other guys that we think could be legendary players, he was not lacking in the winning. He made a finals younger than Giannis, younger than Joker, and neither Giannis nor Joker won their championship at 26. So it is really this moment this year after the trade where the screws could tighten a bit. And I don't know if that's what's getting to him, but certainly since the game, prior to his hamstring injury, he was 33-8-9 on the season on 48%. And in the 5 games since that hamstring injury, he's 24-6-8 on 38%. So he hasn't been quite as good, and he hasn't been himself. Luka Doncic does not mind taking super deep threes.
No.
Some of the most famous Luka Doncic playoff moments are super deep threes. His first truly awesome playoff moment was a three. I should have had him pull the video. A game winner against the Clippers from that exact spot on the court. And honestly, I don't remember. It might have actually literally been that exact spot on the court because I think that game was in LA back when they played at Staples. And so it was odd to see him hesitate when the play was drawn, when they got exactly what the play was drawn up to do. Credit to JJ Redick for getting exactly what he hoped to get. We're not showing the action. All 4 Lakers start in the backcourt. And it's a play I think they stole from the Warriors because the Warriors, if you remember, on Christmas against the Lakers a couple years ago, ran this to get Steph a game-tying 3 with 6 seconds left in a game that I think LeBron then went down and hit the game winner. And so it was bizarre. And as far as Wild's, LeBron's answer, I don't 100% agree with Brew. I do not think he was trying to throw Luka under the bus, but I think he was being honest in his surprise in a way that Bron, in my history watching him do press conferences, he almost always protects his teammates, and it might be a sign of respect that Luka is the best player on this team now and an all-time great himself. He doesn't need protecting. You know what I mean? He is of my, and
This
so.
is where I landed.
And
what do you think he said that was critical?
Maybe he's out of rhythm a little bit. Hey, it happens. I had a chance for it. You've seen him sort of circle the wagons on guys.
I guess my point is
Anthony
this.
Davis misses a shot.
I think that if that was Austin, if that exact, let's say Luka didn't play and that exact play happened with Austin, I think LeBron lies and says, I screwed that up.
Oh, really?
No.
I don't think he lies. I don't think he goes that far.
Well, okay, so maybe that's a bridge too far. But my point is, I think, and Austin's maybe not the right example. I just have seen LeBron a lot. Well, Bron is for the other. I have seen LeBron a lot, I think, when a teammate, not on the court with his reaction, but in the media, if a teammate screws up, him find a way to kind of shift that. He was very honest about what happened here, and that was, I was surprised as you guys were that Luka didn't take that shot.
I had the ball.
Yeah.
All right, let's zoom out a little bit. Lakers go 4-4 on this homestand that started on February 5th. So LeBron fairly was asked about the last 3 weeks they've been at home, and they went 4-4. This is a new version of LeBron. It reminded me really quick, Brew, before you go, when he was asked about Keontae George. He's like, man, I don't know.
I'm watching golf.
I'm watching YouTube.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be as locked in as I had previously seen.
Well, he said what, a year ago, Brew? Everything's extra credit at this point.
No, yeah.
And that he feels, not starting this argument here, he feels I'm the greatest player of all time. I have all the records, and now everything I'm doing is just because I enjoy playing ball, and I think some of his answers are like
there was
that.
a little bit of and you see Sean McVay do this. It's like, hey, do you want me to go through the exact play and where the ball went from 3 weeks ago in the second quarter? Because I can do it. But now he's like, I don't know. Who did we play? The Sixers?
Right, he got a photographic memory.
Was it too soon for the Lakers to hit the panic button?
No. And I hesitate to say panic because I just don't think that they're championship caliber. So it's not like, oh my gosh, they're waking up today saying we're not a championship team. I think they know it. And I think LeBron knows it.
Yes.
And I think that's part of this whole thing too. But look, we know the two problems. They can't play defense, and their big three don't fit. It's as simple as that. They don't fit together. All right, LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. Last night was a case in point. All right, I've said it's my turn, your turn offense. Now, all three of those guys are unselfish. So they racking up assists. The ball moves a little bit with each one of them when they have it. But last night, LeBron had 10 points in the first quarter. Austin Reeves had 0. In the third quarter, Austin Reeves had 10 points. LeBron had 2. Like, it's one or the other or something like that. And it's not because they're selfish, and LeBron has gotten off the ball. But neither of them, the three, can be their best off the ball. That's the issue. Like, so when Luka might as well not even be on the court when somebody else has the ball. Because all he does is go over and stand and watch. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. LeBron has gotten better off the ball, but he's spotting up a lot for three. He's not at his best doing that. And Reeves is,
and it's not helping that LeBron's having his worst three-point shooting year in forever.
I mean, look, honestly, and we got some graphics. When LeBron and Luka, their best two players, I'm going to say LeBron's second best, they don't fit together. They got the worst point differential on the team. All right, minus 82. And there are numbers that show when Luka and Reeves play together, they're great. It's like plus 18 net rating. When LeBron plays by himself without those two, it's plus 9. All right, so the bottom line is I think there's two options for them to try to help win. And I'm going to get to I know you know one of them. The first one, I'm going to say this. LeBron could try to play differently.
Oh, okay.
In that, I think they should use the pick and roll with LeBron and Luka. And LeBron can either pop or roll to the rim. Like, I think he could have to play a little more like a big with Luka. All right, that's one thing. But beyond that, one of those three needs to go to bench. It's not going to be Luka.
Okay, so who is it?
Austin. You could say him but you want to keep him. Does that rub him the wrong way? LeBron obviously has the stature where you wouldn't want to see that, but because him by himself is good, and those two together is good, Luka and Austin, LeBron might be the answer, but you got to sit down. And I'm just out of respect, JJ, sit down with him and say, look, are you willing to do this? Or it could be Austin, but I think one of them has to come up.
Listen, I think if this were 2K, the best basketball answer to solving the problem you're describing is Luka and AR play together and LeBron runs the show by himself. You know what I mean? That you segment it like that. And the easiest way to do that is to put LeBron in the Manu role. Manu's a Hall of Famer. Like that's the.
Didn't we do this with Russ just like 2 years ago? Like Russ doesn't fit. Have Russ go to the bench. He's too big of a superstar.
But here's why I actually think that is whistling through the graveyard to a degree. I don't really care who starts if we're talking about a team winning playoff games, it's about who's on the court at the end of games. And what we're saying is their three best players don't make sense together on the court at the end of games. So, because even when, like, Manu was coming off the bench, he was playing crunch time.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was and so he was coming off the bench to provide a spark to the second unit, not because he didn't fit with Parker and Duncan. It is they are that stupid Pokemon meme of like the three different lizards, the like best to the smallest.
Talking about lizards?
No, I'm talking about Pokemon actually.
Pokemon.
But it's
50 years old.
Luka modeled his game after LeBron. He has said that. LeBron is now a lesser version of, you know what I mean? So it is, Luka is the apex version of this ball-dominant scorer who can also pass.
Playmaker, yeah.
LeBron is, at this point at 41, a slightly lesser version of that. And Austin's a slightly lesser version of that. It's just three of the same archetype. Yeah. And so it just doesn't fit well. And it's also, so last night was the first time I had said they were undefeated going into the fourth. They then lost. And so, and they were playing with fire throughout the year on that. They finally lost one of those games. But here's the other thing, KW. They're not as good as 34-23. And Hubs, if we just put up their...
They don't even have a positive point.
Well, so look at what their rankings are. So they have a pretty good offense. Not as good as it should be. They have a bad defense. They have a below-average net rating. They have a below-average point differential, which is around the same. Yet, they have the 10th best record, which leads you to believe they are at what?
Oh, it's a little bit of an easy schedule?
No. I
know they have a hard schedule.
They've been clutch. They've been, they have guys that are good down the stretch of games. My point is, I think that these 57 games, if you played them, all 57 100 times, they're probably closer to a 30-27 team than a 34, maybe a 29-28 team.
Yeah, so it's just,
which, I mean, that's what they have the statistical profile of a team right around 500. They have the record of a team competing for home court in the first round. And where I would panic, KW, is this. I just do not see how the Lakers are materially different in the ways they're bad this year, next year, aside from Giannis saying, you have to trade me to LA.
Well, look, if LeBron is not there,
yes,
and like we've shown it with Austin and Luka, they're good. And I just think it's a fit. It's a matter of fit. And LeBron, look, they've talked, and you've heard Rich Paul, his agent, say he wants to win championships. That was going into this season. And if the Lakers aren't really there, then maybe go somewhere else. Wherever LeBron goes, though, he's going to have to adjust because nobody's building their team around you anymore at 41 or 42 years old. And if you go to a team that's ready to win, like you're the missing piece, like Cleveland say, he would have to adjust.
Well, the Cleveland fit got so much harder once they traded for Harden.
Yeah.
You know what I like that because it'll be a lot of the same problems we're talking about right here. But my point is, next year for the Lakers, Brew, assuming Bron's gone, yes, now the fit might work better, but you're still lacking a team of defenders and a team of shooters. And now Giannis might be great enough that the Giannis and Luka combo can paper over that. But if it's not Giannis,
if they got Giannis, it's a whole different thing.
but without that, I just don't think that they are an off-season couple tweaks away from having a fleshed-out championship roster.
Drew, last word about LeBron coming off the bench. I think it would work if it started earlier in the year. Do you think winning Sixth Man of the Year is at all a carrot for him for his trophy case next year?
Next year?
Well, I don't think you can win Sixth Man of the Year this year.
I think, he couldn't win it this year. I don't think he hadn't played enough games. Whether it's this year or next year, it just depends on LeBron's ego. Is he willing to accept it? Well, and if he's not, that's fine.
I think you can split the baby. Like, yes, I have a big ego. I'm the best. I did it 1 year and I became the best.
He could be Sixth Man of the Year next year if he wants.
All right, headed to Dallas. The Cowboys want to make Brandon Aubrey the highest paid kicker in the league. Calvin Watkins reporting a multi-year deal around $7.5 million per year. Aubrey's camp kicked that offer to the curb. How about $10 million? Cowboys trying to figure it out. Here's how good of a kicker he is. Field goal percentage is 5th best all time, 88%. 50-yard makes 35. It's 7 more than anyone else since 2023.
And I think that field goal percentage is unfair to him.
Because he hit some bombs.
Because he tried. They asked him to try.
Hit a 65-yarder.
And nobody else would try. So
you can only franchise tag one guy.
Yes.
They're talking about franchise tagging Pickens.
Yeah.
Who's more of an important offseason priority?
Listen, I think Brandon Aubrey is one of the most important weapons in the league. He's a restricted free agent, which means, it's a little complicated. Teams can then sign him away, but they'd have to give up a draft pick for it, not the same as the franchise tag.
And they can tender him.
If they tender him in the second round, then a team, if he signs him, then that team has to give up a second-round pick in addition to the contract. Here's the thing. If I'm a team like Denver, I would do that. And I would if I were Denver in particular, because I don't totally trust their offense, the thin air up there, the kick, you start the possession at the 35 after a touchback, are you 1 first down away? If we get 11 yards on the drive and we are, at 40, at our own 46, and so are we in field goal range in Denver? Close to it, 15 yards definitely. I would give Brandon Aubrey, if I were a contender such as Denver, the kicker version of the Mahomes deal. I'd give him a 10-year, $75 million contract. They say, and $50 million guaranteed. And guess what? I just don't have to have all my worries as a football team. Kicker is taken care of for a decade. I think he's that good, and I think
he's a great
I think the new kickoff rules have made a guy like that much more valuable. He's been in the league 3 years. He's been an All-Pro all 3 years. And if I'm Dallas, I would same thing. 10 years, $75 million. I know you want $10 million a year, but how about what we're offering you, but for a decade? And you'll be the highest paid kicker right now, and you'll still hold the record in 2050 as the highest paid kicker. I think he has that type of value. And to me, it is easier to find George Pickens than Brandon Aubrey.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would prioritize him.
I like that.
I would prioritize him, too.
Wow.
Yeah, no question. And I've said it, but now I'm going to show it. George Pickens is great. I think he's more talented than CeeDee Lamb, all right? He was better last year than CeeDee Lamb. But look at their off. If Dak Prescott is healthy, they're going to have a top offense, period, with or without George Pickens. So this graphic shows 21, 22, 23, 24, their offensive rankings with Dak. Now, and the number of games Dak played, even when he played only 12, they were fourth. They probably would have been first or second. Cooper Rush played all right. They would have been first or second maybe with Dak 17 games, 16 games. Last year, or 2024, obviously he was injured half the year. They dropped. This year, they still, even with George Pickens being great, they were only 7th offensively. And so I don't need, as great as he is, I don't need George Pickens. I think they have many other things, defense obviously, but this guy is a priority. You got to keep, somebody I think would be willing to pay him $10 million. I think a team would be willing to give him $10 million. Look, Baltimore would have been in the playoffs this year. I'm not saying they would have reached the Super Bowl, but they'd have been in the playoffs without Patrick Mahomes in it if they had a kicker like Brandon Aubrey.
And so let me just put it from a Chiefs fan perspective. If the Broncos, who are in the division, or the Bills, who are the perennial, competition, or the Ravens, who are a perennial competition, I would be way more bummed out as a Chiefs fan if either of any of those teams got Aubrey than if they got Pickens. And they all need wide receivers.
Yep.
They all really think they need wide receivers, and I would be more bothered by them getting Brandon Aubrey than I would by them getting George Pickens.
It's time for the friendliest segment in all of sports. Now, there's snow on the ground, and, well, where we are, bro, I have no idea what the weather is where
probably nice.
Nick is.
Closer to
Nick
this.
is stuck. Yeah. I'm sure it's terrible. Oh, no, it's actually perfect. Surprise, surprise. It's time for the inaugural edition of King of the Hill for the full NBA season. I'm excited.
So for Mahomes Mountain KW, which is a similar setup, we go 7 rows, 28 quarterbacks. This is probably enough with the butterflies, Rick. My God. This is what made us do the bad boy of sports
Right. Are you
TV,
bringing that
was the
back,
butter
Lars?
too
Remember,
many
I got
butterflies.
the bad boy.
I thought it was fun for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, but then I got taken.
No, Danny took it. Danny took it.
He's not
So
even- he's a nerd
for
about
the
it.
inaugural
Sorry.
King of the Hill, KW, we're going 8 rows, which is 36 guys.
Buckle up.
But even that is not enough.
okay.
So before we get to the 36 guys, and I want your guys' reaction to this, first, toughest omissions. Guys that just missed the cut. Josh Giddey, Brandon Ingram, Stephon Castle, Aaron Gordon, your guy Dylan Brooks, KW, shout out to him. No, he wasn't going to be top 36 either. Franz Wagner, and shout out Cooper Flagg. Brew, those guys not making the cut, any issue significantly?
There's one guy on the list that I do not think should be on the top 36 that I think has to go.
Wow.
Ooh.
And so I'll share that.
Has to go.
Yeah. It'll be a bonus take.
Tease.
Yeah.
Here, I can't wait for the bonus take. All right, Hubs, go ahead and show the most disappointing guys to not make it. Paolo, not making it. My guy, Amin Thompson. KW's guy, LaMelo. I would have thought going into the year, Amin and Paolo definitely would have made the inaugural King of the Hill. I couldn't justify putting them on there. Any issues? I know, obviously, Brew, you might think they deserve to be above, but so KW, your thoughts on your guy LaMelo not making it?
I don't have a huge issue with LaMelo not making it. Did the car accident affect my judgment on that?
I told you.
It shouldn't.
Another classic one by me. I showed you that video of him peeling out of the Hornet Stadium, and you didn't care. That was inevitable.
Swearing.
And then lastly and most
every post-game press conference, he's swearing. It's just.
But they're starting to win.
They're starting to win, but
He's a big key. I know they got Brandon Miller and Concanipple too, but I think look, the accident notwithstanding, I think Melo is turning a corner.
oh,
I think he's turning a corner.
okay.
Well, that's the problem. He's not yielding. That's
Yeah,
the
no
literal
pun
problem, bro.
intended. I think he's turning a corner.
And then again, it's 36 guys on the list, so we can basically call it a top 40 because these are the 5 guys who either haven't played this year or are out for the rest of the year, who I'm very confident would have been on the list. Tatum, Halliburton, AD, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie, obviously, but they're not eligible. So, with that table set, 8th row of the inaugural edition of King of the Hill. Jalen Duren, Scotty Barnes, J-Dub, maybe a little disappointing placement for J-Dub after an All-NBA appearance. Siakam, I don't know what, maybe I'm being unfair to Siakam. He's the best player on that team, but they're awful. I don't know what to do with him. Lauri Markkanen, Derek White, De'Aaron Fox, and Rudy Gobert in his customary spot. Again, it's not left to right, but he always makes the hill, and he seems to somehow be the guy bottom row furthest right. 7th row, KW's guy, not KD's guy, clearly.
Well.
KW's guy, but not KD's guy.
Just venting a little bit.
Alpern Şengün, Jalen Johnson, shout out Austin Reeves. This might be his first time ever on King of the Hill, certainly regular season edition. Evan Mobley, Julius Randle, Chet's guy, maybe a little disappointing placement for him, I don't know. And then Bam, who we were just talking about earlier. Okay, now we get to the top 21 guys, so call it top 20 if you'd like. 6th row, what a row. Steph and Bron. Shout out to these two guys for still being top 20 players definitively, but their lowest placement for either one of them, I think, ever on any edition of King of the Hill. And shout out to James Harden for at his age also not only still being a top 20 player, but, you know, nothing tells you that we're right past Valentine's Day like James Harden playing his best basketball of the season. Karl Anthony Towns, Jamal Murray, and Denny Avdia with his highest ever placement on the Hill, maybe his first ever placement on the Hill. Now we get to our top 15. Maybe a soon-to-be 5-time Olympic gold medalist Kevin Durant, Tyrese Maxey, who quietly has just been sensational, Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, who also quietly the last, month and a half I don't know, vintage Embiid, close to it. And then Kawhi Leonard, who, not so quietly, has been awesome ever since the Clippers. They spotted the league a 6-21 start. Since then, Kawhi's been on fire, as has the team. Now to the top 10. And all of these guys are MVP candidates. Well, all but one, I guess. Cade Cunningham, legit MVP candidate. Jaylen Brown, legit MVP candidate. Jalen Brunson, legit MVP candidate. And Donovan Mitchell, legit MVP candidate. The one guy who I said in the top 10 is not a legit MVP candidate is the first guy listed on row 3, and that's Giannis, because of games missed and, how well his team has done. He's playing some of the best ball of his life, but obviously he's not going to hit the games threshold. The team's not good, but I do think he's coming back soon, which is why he's not with the injured players off the hill. Wemby, Anthony Edwards round out row 3, and then we get to the top 3, and at least 2 of the top 3 are consensus. Shea is a consensus top 3 player. Luka, maybe not consensus top 3 anymore, but I do think there is consensus that the guy at the top is still the best player in the league. Shout out Nikola Jokic, who has owned King of the Hill the last few years. That Chris Broussard is the inaugural edition of the 2026 King of the Hill.
You want to start with the bonus? I'm interested in the bonus.
The bonus, I will start, Nick, with the bonus takes. Two bonus takes. Number 1, I'm going to move Jalen Duren up 1 level, 1 row. I put him ahead of Bam. I put him ahead of Bam. There's other guys I could probably put him ahead of, but I'll switch him and Bam out of Bayou. Duren, man, is tough. He is. You saw him dunk on Wemby last night. He's legit. So I'm moving him up. Second bonus take,
That's
the
fine.
guy that can't be on. I'm sorry, Joel Embiid.
Really? That was the bonus take?
He's played. Now, I get it
Barton.
for him. It seems like he's played a lot because he's played 31 games. But now he's already out again with the knee and the shin. So who knows when we'll see him again. I just, at some point, availability has to be a fact. Nick, honestly, are you counting on him at all in the playoffs for Philadelphia? Because I agree, he is a phenomenal player still, but I have no confidence whatsoever that he's going to be able to play consistently for any significant period of time. So I just think
because of the approach this year, Brew, where he has missed a lot of time, they are being, extra cautious. Maybe that's the one thing they haven't tried, so they can get maybe Embiid. If it's like, hey, your 60th game of the year, not even that, your 50th game of the year is going to be your first playoff game. Maybe that's the path he has to take. He is still, though, after a slow opening month of the season, night to night, damn near back at 30 points a game. And he's just such a special offensive player, even if defensively is where the injuries have taken their biggest toll, where he's not the rim protector he once was, but he's such a special offensive player, Brew. I'm shocked that's the guy you're saying has to be off. I didn't see that coming.
I just see him as a part-time player, at best. And I think even if what you're saying with their strategy, even if that's the case, that the team is going to be, there's not going to be any chemistry. You see they play differently when he's there. Maxey plays a little differently, which is understandable, but I just don't think they're going to have the chemistry to make any type of significant run. Maybe they could win a round, maybe, if it's a 4 or 5 matchup or something. But I just think he's a part-time player. I would take him off, and I would put, not at that level, but the guy I'd probably put on, I think, is Cooper Flagg. Cooper, I know it's the last 8 games, 28 points, 8 boards. Now, they're not winning. They're like 1-7 in those games. But young guys, I don't expect them to win.
Okay.
Right? And so 28-8 over the last.
That's almost like a third bonus take, the Cooper Flagg one.
Well, it's related. So here's the. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Let me respond to the flag before you give your real take. KW, I want your take on this. And so maybe it was a bit of a cop-out by me. Because I thought about putting Cooper Flagg on. But I'm not certain that I think, even if I think he is going to be better long-term, I'm not certain I think Cooper Flagg is having a better year than Con Knippel. And I'm not just doing the two white guys thing, but the two leading Rookie of the Year candidates. Yeah. Con Knippel has similar numbers and it is contributing at least to some winning. Now that team is better. So I thought Knippel had almost as strong of a case as Flagg.
That's fair.
No, look, Knippel's playing great. I would go with Flagg. I think he's a better, certainly overall player, but Knippel's in the hunt for, they're going to be 1-2. I think it'll be Flagg and Knippel. But my full take.
We're out of the bonus round.
Okay.
Is, and look, and let me preface it with this.
Hold on.
I am not trying to carve out space as like the anti-Luka guy. All right, because I like Luka.
You call him Luka Legend.
Right, I nicknamed him Luka Legend. I think I was the first to say he's Luka Legend. I thought he was going to be Larry Bird 2.0. All that he is a phenomenal player.
First one to make that comp.
Yes, absolutely.
But you can't win with him.
No, you can win to a certain level.
Oh, yeah,
I just think he has to adjust a little bit his style of play.
No, you're not anti-Luka, but earlier in the show, and you did not say it, but you did mention.
I think it's on the board.
It's on the board.
On the board that he never wins.
Never wins. But you're not anti-Luka.
A championship. No. Charles Barkley never won a championship. Patrick Ewing never won a championship. And many other great ones. All right, but anyway, here we go. Nick, I'm switching Wemby and Luka. And Giannis, I keep where he's at because, again, this year has been injury ravaged. So I'm switching Wemby and Luka. Wemby is just better.
Well, yeah.
He's better now. Like, we know defense, we don't even have to discuss. But he actually, Nick, is shooting slightly better from three-point range than Luka. It's very close.
It counts, though.
He's shooting better from the free throw line than Luka. And because he is able to fit into a system, obviously, better than Luka, which allows his teammates to shine as well. And so, yeah, I think Wemby, I mean, look, we're talking about this ultra young team, aside from him, going to the finals. And that's because of his impact on both sides of the floor. So I would switch Wemby and Luka.
I obviously don't think that's outrageous. I think it is, there is a really strong argument that Wemby, depending on what you do with Giannis, you can argue Wemby's third best player in the league. That if it's Joker, Shea, Wemby, you can argue that. So I get that. And this is, KW won't like this, I don't think. I have a hard time putting anyone in that rarefied of air before I've seen them one time in the playoffs, before I've seen them one time play a full season, before I've seen them those things, and now part of that's not his fault, it's bad luck, it is what it is, but I don't want to say it feels premature because I watch the games and some nights you're like, maybe he is as good as Joker, maybe he's already the best player in the league, but it feels like a title that everyone else that has had it has at least had a playoff run, even if it was a bad one, just some experience earlier. So that would be my pushback there. But I get it. Like, Wemby's been unreal.
You guys, maybe I'll become the Luka guy.
I love Luka. Nick, although I will say this, I have not heard Nick describe him as my adult Slovenian son in a while.
Nick is not.
In a while.
The way that Nick defends Patrick Mahomes, we show a graphic. Every number is down. He wins 6 games all year. Still obviously the best. Poor Luka's in 5th place, and the guy has no defense for him. It's just, he might not be able to hear me either. It's just open season.
He definitely did not hear
you.
No,
he can't. This is great. This is great. So I'll just tell Nick that I want to move Şengün up, maybe 1 row, and switch him with.
I'm not mad at that. I thought Şengün was a tad.
I would like to have him just optically on the same line with Steph and LeBron. Here was his play last night, just to whet your appetite of what Şengün is up to. not only just like classic big man rebounding, but also like setting up Durant, little give and go. Mr. Consistency when I've been on Şengün. He's just been good. Fits, obviously Durant fits with the Rockets, so he's got one more point. His rebounds went down, assists went up, field goal percentage exactly the same. He's great on offensive rebounds, 20 points and 3 offensive rebounds this year. The only 2 guys that are doing that are Şengün, Joker, and Cat is doing it as well. And then finally, we look at guys who lead their teams, playoff teams, because you can, like Nick Claxton does it, Draymond, Derek Queen, of leading your teams in rebounds and assists. It's Joker and Şengün, just for playoff teams. If the Magic sneak in, Banchero is also on the list. Jalen Johnson's on the list. So I would like to move Şengün up just 1 row. I'm not asking for too much. Just flip him with Denny, just because they're playing so well.
So here would be my question, I guess, to both of you. And listen, the Van Vliet injury is brutal, but we knew that going into the year. The Steven Adams injury happened during the year. But I look at the Rockets and I say, I think Durant is playing on the court as well as they could have possibly hoped for. And I think they have been slightly disappointing. Like, I don't view them as a tier 1 and maybe not quite a tier 2 contender like I thought I was going to. How much of that falls on Şengün? Like, how much of that falls on Şengün not taking a leap for it? Okay.
He has to play the point. He leads the team in assists. It's not his fault the team didn't sign a true point guard. That was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I understand, and is arguing he should be on row 6, is I think totally reasonable. I guess I thought the Rockets, Brew, if you remember, I said I thought I might end up picking the Rockets to win the championship. And so maybe it's kind of the reverse Jaylen Brown situation. I had such low expectations for the Celtics. I am just wowed by what he's done. Maybe I had too high of expectations for the Rockets that I'm, maybe too far down on Şengün. So you make fair points, KW.
Yeah, I don't put it on Şengün. I'm with KW on this one. I would move Şengün up. I put a little of it, not that I'm moving him down, but I put a little more on Durant.
Oh, really?
I mean, he's the veteran, supposed to go in there. I know he hasn't been a leader necessarily throughout his career, but I want him as the veteran to come in and give that guidance and leadership that can take this team to the next level. He's a bucket, but that's pretty much what he is, a bucket.
Last night on a red-eye flight from the West Coast, an elite committee of analysts, savants, and people who aren't fans of my haircut fought and toiled and burned the midnight jet fuel to concoct the best segment in all of sports. It's an honor and a privilege for the first version of 2026 NBA tiers. I think.
A little bittersweet, however.
Oh.
NFL tiers, it's basically year-round experience. Yeah, of course. But it certainly starts prior to week 1 with the full league. NBA tiers, we're 2/3 of the way done with the season.
Yeah.
Which means these 6 teams will never make the tiers.
Never.
These 6 teams eliminated. Grand opening, grand closing. For the Kings, Pacers, Nets, Wizards, Pelicans, and Jazz.
I can't argue any of those.
And by the way, because Rick Carlisle came out and said the NBA is really trying to shake down the Pacers about the tanking. The Pacers are not the tanking problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
The Pacers have tried to be competitive year after year after year. Their best player pops his Achilles in Game 7 of the finals, taking a year off.
Well, guess what?
What?
There's another team in the East whose best player popped their Achilles, and they're doing just fine.
But they have a way better infrastructure, and they're a better team.
I'm just saying.
It's
not just like, it looks like we're headed to the lottery.
Well, they're trying. The Pacers.
Are they?
I mean, a little bit.
Siakam's trying. All right, time for the tiers. Not eliminated, but unwatchable. The Bucks without Giannis are unwatchable, flatly. Yeah. The Bulls are like, hey, you guys didn't tell us we were going to have to start tanking as early as you guys are. They're trying to catch up.
Right.
They're not going to get there. And the Grizzlies are just kind of a sad they're like a dead mall. It's like, you know what? This used to be. I have memories here. The Radio Shack, that was good. And now
the ticket prices.
Free, I would imagine.
Yeah, like
$1.50.
Yeah, it's like $4.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's terrible.
Next line.
It's terrible.
Like many bad marriages, in it for the kids. We're here for Cooper Flagg, Brandon Miller, and Con Knipple for the Hornets. I don't want to leave Brandon Miller out.
Yes.
He's been excellent, and the Hornets are frisky-ish. The Mavs are not. But if you're a fan of those teams, it's not about this year at all. It's about watching your young star or young stars grow up and evolve. Maybe something in 2027.
Interesting.
The Blazers.
Yeah.
Building around Denny.
Scoop.
Okay, Scoop.
It was a bad call, but I'm going to let it go.
Listen, you miss 100 of the shots you don't take. Shaden Sharp, they're trying to build something in Portland. Credit to them. The Hawks, you have Jalen Johnson, all of a sudden unshackled Jonathan Kuminga. I think last night was probably an aberration, but we'll see. But most importantly, maybe the #1 pick. Because remember, they have New Orleans pick. And New Orleans is one of the eliminated teams. And even if it's not #1, so it could be DeBanza, it could be Peterson, could be Wilds guy, Cam Boozer, whomever. And for Miami,
those guys are all going to be excellent.
Correct.
Excellent.
I think you have 3 guys that are the caliber of a typical #1 pick.
Yeah.
Not Cooper Flagg, but a typical #1 pick. And Miami, I think, is going to take one more shot at Giannis in the offseason and see how that goes. Hardest of ceilings. Suns, Raptors, Warriors, Magic. I would be stunned if any of these teams win a round. And I am going to go ahead and say it is impossible for any of these teams to win 2 rounds. And so the Warriors, it would have been different, obviously, if Jimmy didn't get hurt. The Magic are very disappointed that this is where they found themselves. Obviously, great win for them last night. But when you trade 5 firsts or 4 firsts for Bane, it's not because you think you're going to be one and done in the playoffs again. The Raptors, kind of a positive season. The Suns, a positive season, but the Booker injury and Dylan Brooks breaking his hand, it's going to put him in guaranteed in the play-in. And then you're playing OKC in round 1, or you're playing the Spurs. It's a disaster. On the right night, catch any of these teams on the right night, and you're like, ooh. If Luka's cooking, LeBron is doing, kind of Swiss Army knife stuff, and Austin Reeves is giving you 30, it's like, man, they'd be a beast to deal with over 2 weeks. But on the wrong night, it's like, oh, but they don't fit, and any one of their guys don't fit together. Sixers, similar story, not they don't fit together. Maxi's been first-team All-NBA-ish caliber this year. Embiid, when he's been playing the last couple months, has been excellent. Edgecombe's a great rookie, but you just don't feel like it's sturdy. And I think the Timberwolves are a little disappointing this year after back-to-back conference finals, but Ant isn't. Right. Ant has been just about as good as anybody in the league this season on both ends of the court, but it doesn't feel like they do that on a night-to-night basis as much as they need to. Very good teams, yet disappointing. All 4 of these teams are very good, and I'll get to the Clippers in a second, but I think underachieving their preseason expectations. The Cavs, last year, they were the best team in the East until they needed to be. They fell apart. They thought, all right, no Pacers, no Tatum, it would be us. They haven't been that all year. The Knicks feel like, okay, this is our moment for the same reasons. They have been inconsistent all year. The Rockets didn't go all in, but went, semi-all in getting Durant, and they don't seem to be in a markedly better position than they were. Last year, they were the 2 seed.
Yeah, they are.
They're not in a better position. And the Clippers, listen, they haven't been at 500 since they were 3-3. However, they're 21-9 since starting 6-21. So what's disappointing is that they dug themselves such a massive hole. And I think because of that, they traded Harden, they moved on, but maybe they feel like the Garland-Kawhi combo when Garland's back is going to work. Kawhi's been unbelievable. Brew will hate this one. Godzilla versus Mothra. Nuggets and Spurs. Are you familiar with that, KW?
I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with Godzilla. I'm not totally familiar with Mothra. Is that the big moth?
Great context clues. Hub's the image. This is a Jokic-Wemby playoff series. Jokic, Godzilla, The giant moth is Wemby. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just take a second here? I don't even know. Maybe we go to break or something.
No, go ahead.
What was going on while we were gone?
What do you mean?
You talking about Godzilla? You talking about Pokemon? You talking about Charizard? You just feel like you got into like some cartoons or something?
I read when I was meeting with the executives that I told you about while you guys were on the beach, I got some demographic data about the show, and we need to skew a little younger. So I'm trying to,
Is that true?
So Gianna has given me some words to use on the show. I haven't really.
Yeah, because you're talking about other memes. You keep on bringing up memes.
Gianna says I need to talk about guys mogging more, but I don't know what it means.
That's why you've been
what
on
she told me.
fleek.
What?
No,
so,
bro,
that's
bro,
where
that is-
Younger words.
No, that's
bro.
not,
Honest.
bro.
No.
You've been
bro,
on
I-
fleek.
No, that's
No, I
not-
don't.
that's
I
not-
think that was 5 or 6 years ago.
No, I think longer. I think longer.
Maybe. Gianna, is it back?
Yeah.
Gianna says yes.
Okay.
On fleek, it's back.
Go back to the tiers, please.
Sorry.
Point is this. I don't know if the bracket's gonna allow it, but man, I'd love to see Jokic versus Wemby for 2 weeks in round 2.
That
of the
would be
playoffs.
awesome.
That would be so great if we can get that as a 2-3
might.
matchup. Now, Denver, after starting 20-6, is 16-16 in their last 32.
Yeah, the injury.
So, and the injuries, but it would be such an interesting contrast in styles between those two guys. I just really want to see it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Every quarter century, the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons in the early 1960s, bro, made the playoffs, I think, 6 years in a row and made a conference
Dave Bean?
finals.
Yeah.
The Detroit Pistons then, quarter century later, in the late 1980s, made 3 straight NBA finals. The Detroit Pistons then, a quarter century later, in the early aughts, made 6 straight conference finals, won a ring, and made another finals. It's been about 25 years since then, and they are the number 1 seed in the East, and they check all the boxes except for preseason belief. You know what I mean? They have a legitimate MVP candidate. They play good defense. They're well coached. They're deep. All those things, but they weren't one of the top 5 preseason picks. Yet I don't have them atop the East in the tiers because of the looming threat that is Boston.
This is fascinating.
I have been so blown away by the job Joe Mazzulla, Jaylen Brown, and the entire Boston supporting cast has done. Not just holding down the fort, but playing great basketball, winning basketball, analytically brilliant basketball, even if stylistically you don't love it, while Tatum's not playing.
Yeah.
I think it's very on the board that Tatum is back in the next few weeks. And if that's the case, I don't think they need All-NBA first team Jason Tatum to be a championship contender. They just need Jason Tatum to be 70% of Jason Tatum because of where they are right now. But they're still not the favorites. That, of course, is OKC with this one question, Brew. Are they bored or are they flawed? Because after the 24-1 start, they're good, but not unbelievable 21-13. In the last 17, they're 10-7. Now Shea's been out for a piece.
They've been winning without Shea.
Right. It's not like they were a lot of those losses came with Shea. Is this the lethargy of a long season as a defending champ? Once it was clear they weren't going to break the Warriors record, it's like, who cares? I don't know if I can chalk it up to that because they have not locked up the 1 seed. And if they were to make the finals, they're basically tied with Detroit for home court in the finals. That were the matchup. So these games do matter. They're the best team, but they don't seem as invincible as they did 2 months ago. That's the first edition of Tiers, Brew.
I like
bad.
that. Oh, no.
Not bad.
How many bonus takes do you have?
About 3.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
Quickly, put it back up. Couple quick ones. Look, I agree. Boston with Tatum. If you're baking in Tatum to this, then they got a good. My pick is Detroit in the East.
Wow.
But if Tatum comes back,
Yeah.
Boston could win the East.
Yeah.
It's Detroit or Boston. All right. Second take, bonus take, the Timberwolves I want higher. Like, I think they're very dangerous. They're 2-1 against OKC and 2-1 against San Antonio. So I get it that it's been a bit of a disappointing year, but I think they're very capable of turning it up in the playoffs, and I think they're dangerous. So I would raise them higher. But my main take is I got to put Godzilla versus Mothra on the second line, right below the
So you think the
Thunder.
three best teams are in the West?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I do. Look, the East is the JV. San Antonio just went into Detroit's house, took their best punch, and I mean that literally. Like, Detroit really got physical with them, to their
I
credit.
think Detroit's best punch is a literal Isaiah Stewart.
Well, yeah, Isaiah was missing. But they took that physical play and beat them by double digits in Detroit. They've beaten Boston. The Spurs are 7-1 against the what is that? Top 5 teams on your tiers. They're 4-1. 4-1 against OKC. Beat 1-0 against Boston, 1-0 against Detroit, 1-0 against Denver. And I'm more so obviously focused on the Spurs. I think they're Denver healthy, that'd be, as you said, a great series. But I just think the Spurs, we talked about it yesterday, they have it all. There's nothing other than their youth.
Yes.
There's really nothing you would point to and say they lack this. Detroit lacks shooting. Obviously Boston isn't fully whole yet. Even OKC has injury issues. They have nothing going on in San Antonio that is a negative except being so young and inexperienced. So I would move the Spurs particularly up to second, and you can throw Denver up there with them.
I think that's a very fair critique. I'm not sure I agree with you that the East is the JV if we're talking about the best.
Upper echelon.
Yeah, like the top 4 or 5 teams in each conference. I think, if we did a draft of them, so to speak, that there would be more back and forth. Certainly, the bottom of the East and the West is better. But I think at the top, I think, and I do not believe we are going to get this player this year, but if Jason Tatum came back and was 100%, I think that's the best team.
Wow.
I
mean, this is just fantastic. I just
Go
feel
ahead.
like I've done a great job.
You?
I feel like I'm
What
like
have
a
you
coach
done?
a little bit.
You think you're my
Like
coach?
I'm kind of proud of you right now. Is that fair?
So you're all in on the Celtics.
Well, it's just like New England in general, and I feel like you were kind of reviled a little bit.
I think I probably am still reviled.
Still, but I also did it with Denver, and I'm like, let me see if I can pull another rabbit out of my hat. Maybe I can get him to get onto the Celtics.
What helped me with the Celtics is you haven't talked about them in a year.
Well, good news.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics are underrated by the world, but properly rated here.
Wow.
I think you did a great job.
This is you're including Jason Tatum.
So I had 2 graphics, and I just switched the order because I want to show the home road splits on just how wildly effective they've been in both spots. So they're 9-1 in their last 10. They just came off this road streak.
Remarkable.
Everything,
That is incredible.
right? So they just are playing a really. I mean, I guess this is a
They're
great
the exact
to
same
Missoula.
team. Yeah.
And I don't look. Tatum's gone. They seem like a very similar team. Jaylen Brown was gone last night. They seem like the same team.
I think
so
they're
it's really just
5-1
a
without
strong,
Jaylen Brown, which
and they win those games pretty easily.
Yeah.
So here's the because they trounced the Suns last night, and the Suns didn't put up much of a fight offensively.
Suns also without their 2 leading scorers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that vaulted them to number 1 in the scoring defense. So they've got the best defense scoring-wise in the league. So this is how good their defense has been the last few years. And the reason why I wanted this second is this. When we talk about Tatum coming back, obviously a plus. But I think when you think about Jason Tatum coming back, at least me, I see him shooting threes and getting to the rack and making those little finger rolls. I don't see him slapping the floor, playing defense with an Achilles that's recovering.
Well, I mean, he's even coming off Achilles, he's a better defender than Peyton Pritchard. He's better. He's not he's going to be a better defender than the guy whose minutes he's taking. Even fully healthy, Jason Tatum's an excellent defender.
Yeah.
Even post Achilles, I think he's not a better defender than post Achilles in recovery. He's not a better defender than Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Right. But those guys, he's not taking minutes from those guys. Yeah. You know what I mean? Those guys are going to be playing the same amount.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about defense. Maybe
so you're not worried at all about fit or taking some guys?
No, I
minutes
think
and things
the
like
system just works perfectly.
I think
and I
that's
think
right.
they're a real team
I
that
agree
really
with
likes
that.
each other. But
And
I'm
I
a
think
little
it'll
bit
be
nervous. Like if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I would rather have Tatum.
Well, I think that's part of what they'll do. Like, if you can't play defense the way we want you to play defense, let's just wait. It doesn't hurt the Celtics at all to wait until next season.
But unless it costs them a chance to win the title.
But
that hurts them.
You don't want, just to follow up your point, you don't want Jason Tatum out there not able to really get after defense.
Oh, I agree. But I don't think he would come back if he felt like athletically he is not recovered. I think there'll be rust, there'll be, getting your wind, those things, but I think he'll only come back if athletically he's recovered. And to be clear, me coming around, if you will, on Boston has nothing to do with you or your coaching or anything. And to be honest, watch this. It has to do with, while you're the mayor of fair, I'm trying to do something this basketball season. I'm trying to fair max. Fair maxing? Yeah, fair maxing.
What's fair maxing?
Well, it's a thing the young people do. They just put maxing on the back of things, like fitness maxing or style maxing. I'm trying to fair max.
I saw something max.
Exactly.
I don't know what it was.
Exactly. It's
I can't
big
remember
amongst
what
the
it was.
young people.
Troll max. There's some max.
No, don't do that, Bruce. Don't
max.
troll max.
No,
that
there's
sounds
some
bad.
maxing.
It's a lot of maxing. Yeah,
There is.
Yeah. Also, clavicles are big. I don't get it.
Clavicles?
They're big.
I'll
They're
tell you
big.
what,
Gianna told
slang
me.
in what it used to be.
Gianna told me.
Clavicles.
We're trying to get the young people, and they hit themselves in the face with hammers.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
they
they do.
punch themselves. Right now, it's time for the most motivational segment of all of sports. Also a time where we read some viewer mail. We get all sorts of mail, all shapes and sizes. Sometimes I get huge packages. Sometimes just little notes, almost like
Little notes.
little notes.
With no address or stamp on them?
I don't know.
How do they get, they just get delivered to the mailbox or like slid under your door in your shared office?
It was just here.
Okay. Just ripped it in half.
Doesn't matter, it's so little. Dear Wilds, love the show and glad everyone is back. Well, you and me both, friend. Is it true? As Brew mentioned, Nick was just playing cards out on the West Coast. Cheers, Ryan and Brian. I tried to say no. Brew said yes, and then Hubs, who does follow, is a bit of a card player himself, said, we do have some visual evidence of you out west playing cards in a vest. Do you wear a vest?
No, what is this? What?
Jackson Blade.
What?
Jackson Blade is
looks
there.
great. I look terrible.
It's not, he can,
Well,
he said you were at Guacamole Joe's.
No, it's
Artichoke
Joe's.
and you don't have your highlights in.
I-
That's part of the problem. Or your dog's out.
He told me, he's like, do you want to watch a poker highlight?
You were about to show.
I was like, sure, I'll watch one.
I sent it to you.
I haven't seen it yet. We're gonna watch. Brew and I are gonna watch in the break. How long is it? 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow.
You want to watch it?
Not for 4 minutes. 40 seconds, maybe.
It's at 4 minutes.
All right, let's get to it. At number 3, LaMelo Ball.
Here we go.
I said something in the break that I think this will surprise you guys. 'Cause just initially, once you think about it, you'll be like, yeah, this makes sense.
Okay.
This is his 6th year.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
That didn't knock you a little.
That was it?
Maybe
You teased
because
that
he's
for
been
10 minutes.
He's been injured a bit. He's, kind of off the radar because the team's back. It just feels like, man, he's already been in the league 6 years. You know? Came in as such a ballyhooed rookie. Was rookie of the year over Anthony Edwards somehow. But anyway, all right.
Same
what
draft
you guys
class
did
as
about it?
Anthony Edwards and James Wiseman.
Yeah. It just feels like he hadn't been in that long.
Okay,
But 6
no
years,
problem.
you're a veteran.
Yeah.
You're a vet.
See, I don't see
after
calling
6
him a
years.
veteran would shock.
There
me.
you go. Okay.
Now you're there.
But you're in 6 years. You are a veteran. I know he came in early. But anyway, here we go. LaMelo, you have to decide what you want to be. Do you want to be like a guy that plays in the playoffs, all-star games, and has legitimate success, maybe reaches your full potential as a player, which is a very high potential? Or do you want to kind of be this underground legend that your rebels really love? On the streets, they love, yo, Melo, that boy is bad. Like, And you know, there's always somebody in the debate that wants to stun you with the answer you didn't think. You know who really is the best player in the league? LaMelo Ball. Like, do you want to be that guy who people love because you're like an and one mixtape guy in the NBA, or do you want to be the guy that really has legitimate success in the league?
Or third option, Pato O'Ward, race car driver.
I'm trying to stay away from that. That was a little more demolition derby, by the way. But anyway, here's the good news, Melo, because you want street cred. You can be both.
Wow.
You can be both. And you are on the right track on the court. Off the court, you know. On the court, you're on the right track. This year, you have taken your shots down from 21 a game last year to 17. That's a 4-shot drop. Good on you. Your turnovers have dropped from 3.5 per game to below 3 a game. You're starting, I've been clamoring for this for the last few years. You're starting to play winning basketball, all right? And you got 2 other young guys to run with you. Knipple, the rookie, is playing well. Brandon Miller, who's looking like maybe he'll be a future star as well. You guys could be a nice big 3. You've won 12 of your last 15 games. You've gotten into the play-in spot. I don't know if you can get all the way up to the playoffs legitimately in the top 6, but maybe you can get there, you know, by winning some play-in games. But keep up the good work. I do believe in your ability, and I'm pulling for you, LaMelo. All right, at number 2, Nick's guy, Joel Embiid. Now, Nick thinks you are still a top 15. Was it top 15 or top 10?
Top 15.
Top 15 player in the NBA. I'm skeptical because you're a part-time player. Let's just keep it real. That's what you are now. You're still great when you play. 26 points a game. Only about 7.5 boards, but hey, I get it. Your body's been sapped because of injuries and things like that. I'm not putting all of that on you. It is what it is. But here's the deal, and Nick kind of mentioned this. If his plan, Nick's plan, is correct, that, hey, just get Joel to the playoffs and just have Joel be healthy for the playoffs. If that happens, Joel, I want to see something. All right? Because here's the deal. With Embiid playing, they are 20-12. That's a 51-win pace. Without him, they're 12-14. All right, so if you are indeed healthy, Joel, for the playoffs, guess what? Philly is not entering these playoffs with a healthy Joel Embiid as the 6th seed, a typical 6th seed. You are entering as a team, a 50-plus win team. And guess what? In a mediocre Eastern Conference, I want you to do damage. I want you to do damage. If that's the plan, if you are healthy come playoff time, Joel Embiid, I expect you to lead the Sixers to some wins. All right? Now, you haven't been a great playoff guy. You've been injured, missing a lot of games. When you play, you're 70% or whatever. So I get it. But if you are healthy this year, I want some playoff success.
What is success? When will you be happy?
First conference finals.
Conference finals?
Yeah, I mean, look, if he's healthy, if he's legitimately like 90-something%,
Okay.
and he's playing with Tyrese Maxey, who's having an all-NBA year, and then you got Edge come, you got some other decent players, I don't think, like, you can write them all. I shouldn't say.
That's why I
you
had
might
them on my
not
list
pick them
earlier.
for the conference finals, but you can say they have a legitimate chance.
Also, KW, did you get the bar? You got to read it out.
I like it a lot.
A healthy friend is a friend indeed.
I spent a lot of
I
creative
didn't get it at first,
think
and then
it's
I said
didn't
it in
even
my
see it
head.
till
I
you
was like,
said
I
it.
got it.
excellent. It doesn't
Joel?
qualify for the spot bonus, but it is good.
I'm pulling for you. All right, at number 1, the Knicks.
The whole team.
Everybody. Because I could just focus. I put him on the bud list before. I could just focus on Cat, Karl Anthony Towns. But it's not just about Cat.
No.
He has to play better. He has to play strong. When he's at his best, they're a different team, a better team. But I don't want to just put it all on Cat. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, so on and so forth, Mike Brown, Leon Rose, who has done a very good job with the Knicks. However, Leon Rose, you are the guy that fired Tom Thibodeau after he got to the conference finals and brought in a new coach who I like, Mike Brown. But also, Leon Rose, you're the guy that gave up 5 draft picks, first-round picks, for Mikal Bridges. And if you had some of those picks left, guess what? Giannis would probably be a Knick right now, or certainly in the future. And so the whole organization, heck, I'm throwing them all in. Spike Lee, Fat Joe, Tracy Morgan, Ramsey, our guy here. I'm throwing all of them. Yes. Everybody that be there in the front row cheering on the Knicks, the old Knicks.
Yeah, Susie.
Larry Johnson, all those guys too. All right, here's why. If not now, when?
Well, that's a good point.
Tyrese Halliburton, gone. Giannis Antetokounmpo, gone.
Jason
Tatum, gone.
Maybe. Yeah.
There are other teams if not now, Knicks, you've been waiting 53 years. 53 years. This conference will never be as bad as it's been for many years. It'll never be this wide open. Detroit's only going to get better. All right? Halliburton's coming back. Tatum's coming back. It will never be this wide open. You guys are the most intact team, the team that has all of your stars healthy and ready to go. What win? If not this year. And here's the thing I want you to avoid, New York. The boogeyman. Don't create another boogeyman. There's always a Knicks boogeyman.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Reggie Miller, Trae Young, Tyrese Halliburton. Is the next one Cade Cunningham?
Wow.
Is he the next one? You got to avoid that, Knicks. So I'm putting all of you on the bud list. It's motivation. All right? I can't say I fully believe in you. I can't necessarily even say I'm pulling for you.
Gee whiz, why not?
But good luck, Knicks.
Why wouldn't you pull for the Knicks?
Good luck, Knicks.
Okay. Wow.
I'm not pulling against them. It is what it is.
Sounds like
I didn't pick them. I think Detroit's the best team in the East.
My goodness. Well, it's 4:12 on a Thursday, which means you're in for a real treat. In addition to the Bud List, you get a special edition of Sports Media Ombudsman.
This week's edition of Sports Media Ombudsman would like to shout out a reporter, Charlotte Harper of The Athletic, who I thought asked at the very beginning, and we're going to play the question and then the answer. The very beginning, it seems like an outrageous question, 1 second in, but then she expands on it to legendary skier Eileen Gu about a week ago at the Olympics. And I am playing this because as the show's grandfather, and because we now also need to, as Gianna's told me, reach a younger audience.
Yes.
I think Eileen Gu, who I understand for some people is controversial, just don't worry about that for a second and just listen to what she says, is some of the best advice for young people out there about controlling your own destiny and becoming whomever you want to become I've ever heard. And it was inspired by a great question. So shout out to Charlotte Harper of The Athletic. And for everyone on this show, 30 and under, listen to this, what I consider legitimate wisdom from, go ahead.
What about us? What about me?
Well, we're kind of formed.
I can't, there's nothing we can, so Brew, we're out.
It's going to be, you're not out, I'm not out, but this is, you know what, it's advice everyone can take, but particularly for young people.
I'm a lifetime learner, you know
All right.
that.
And I think the lesson being for young people in particular, you literally can just become the person you want to become. Doesn't mean you're going to be a gold medal winner or whatever. You can't necessarily just create the professional success, but the person that you want to be, you can just slowly but surely become, I think is incredibly well put by Eileen Gu. And
agency.
Yes.
Never give up your agency. And I think too many people are doing that nowadays.
Yes.
Like, I can't, this is the problem, that's the problem. She is right. You still, no matter what problems are out there are obstacles out there, but you have your agency to determine what you want to do every single day, how you want to think, how you want to move. I loved it too. That was great.
Well, I expect you guys to keep that same energy when I said Drake May will play better next year. He's 23 years old. He's young and he's getting more experience and Went through some
Let's see.
I am putting NBA goaltending on the Bud list because turns out most people, including the Lakers, Luka, JJ Redick, me at the broadcast, everybody, don't quite know the rules. So it was Celtics, Lakers. We'll run the full clip here. LeBron gets blocked by Kata. Ball finds Ayton. Kata's back, said, give me that. He puts his hand through the rim. He hits the rim and the net. Jalen comes down, ends up being a three-point play. Luka's mad. He's like, wait, he put his hand through the rim. What's going on here? JJ Redick said, he put his hand through the rim. That's goaltending. I think next thing you know, this play doesn't end. Marcus Smart, like, see what happened? He's like, no. He put his hand through the rim. Luka goes up and gives an explanation. He put his hand through the rim. JJ Redick, during a timeout, he put on his sneakers, lucky he wears them, put his hand through the rim. Turns out, however, not goaltending, Brew. You are allowed.
He hit the rim too. Yeah.
You're allowed to do it. So JJ Redick was fired up, but the next day, he's like, guess what? I learned something after talking to the NBA's SVP of Ref Development. So there we go. New defense. We talked about Luke Cornett, the Cornett contest, where you just kind of block your vision, Brew. But do you view this as now a viable deterrent?
No, I view it as something the NBA should change. Like, you can't. I always thought, like Redick, that if you hit the rim when the shot is going up, it's goaltending.
So I think that part is because Redick says, as you know, you don't jostle it.
Yeah.
So I think
I
think that part's a mistake, but I think what they're saying is if you put your hand through the basket and don't touch the ball and bring it down, that's in and of itself not goaltending. So what Redick is saying that Wemby
You're
could
saying
be
if
under
you don't hit the rim,
you don't hit the rim
Oh,
But I think
or
you're
the ball.
allowed to hit. You can hit
he
the
hit
rim.
the rim and he said it wasn't goaltending.
It's just like what's jostling.
Oh, okay.
But I
if
don't
you
know,
hit
like, what's-
It just, if you hit the rim like that, it should be.
Yeah,
You can't hit it like a playground and
I guess I understand, like, if somebody's going up for a dunk and I'm trying to block it and I hit the rim,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be automatically a basket, but.
What about
that's
the idea
probably
of what
part
he's saying,
behind the
which
rule.
is Wemby,
Ooh.
if somebody's getting ready to take a shot from the three-point line, and he's under the basket, Wemby jumping and putting his hand straight through it just to distract him, because that's what he's talking about. He's saying, and all of a sudden the guy's trying to see the rim, and all.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, so I don't know. That doesn't seem. I put that in the same bucket as the tush push. This is not good. It's not good for the game.
Well,
If
except
you
it doesn't
change it,
happen
change it.
nearly as much as the tush push. Let's
Right.
just
And it
Everyone
also
thought it was
stop
illegal.
doing it.
Yeah.
Right, it was unintentional.
But now it's intentional, and the league just
Well,
changed.
hopefully not.
The whole world just changed.
Wow.
Next time I play pickup.
KW,
I will grab the
you're
net.
playing on 8-foot rims?
No, I'm playing on 10 foot. I'm going to try, okay? Did we not learn anything from your thing?
You can
Yeah,
try
in
to
your
become
mind,
a
you're
person. It
thinking
doesn't
that-
mean your hamstrings are not going to give out.
Well, I'm going to give it my all, okay? Isn't that what the Bud list is about?
That's true. Motivation.
I think it's been
Wilds.
a long time since you've grabbed the rim, buddy.
No, that's not true. A title pie, and it's a little bittersweet. No pun intended, unfortunately. Yesterday, I said, I don't want to have the pie anymore because it slows down the segment. And Dusty said, fine, no pie. So I don't even know how to introduce the segment, so I apologize.
Yeah, you really blew it, if I'm going to be honest with you.
You thought this is just a funny comment, and it came back to bite you. No pun intended.
Yeah, a lot of, yeah. So there we go, title pie. Maybe we'll see, maybe we'll find out that we do need it.
So, if we do. I don't even need it. KW took issue with how liberal I was with teams making the
A
play.
lot of teams. It's like half the league.
12 teams made it because we're not yet to March.
Yeah.
And hope springs eternal. And I am, if we can, bring up other teams of yesteryear, I'm old enough to remember a 6 seed going on and winning a championship in a year people thought they didn't have it, the 95 Houston Rockets. I'm old enough to remember 7 seed Lakers making it all the way to the conference finals recently. We have seen teams that seem to be left for dead go on runs, and it's early.
Okay.
So,
Fair.
with 0.5%, a 1 in 200 shot,
Oh, it is.
the Los Angeles Clippers and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Wow.
Both based purely on I don't know. Maybe Kawhi can just, we've seen him go on a playoff heater before. And I don't know. Maybe Luka, we've seen him go on a playoff heater before.
No Harden.
Right, no Harden is a positive. And so I think both of these, for very different reasons, are very flawed teams. I obviously don't really believe in them. However, if you were to be like, hey, Nick, I'll give you 200 to 1, which is what a 0.5% chance is, I'd be like, okay, 200 to 1.
I took the bet in my office, bro.
Well, you did the opposite. I gave KW $1 because he's like, Lakers don't have 0.5%. I was like, fine, put your money where your mouth is, handsome man. I gave him $1. If the Lakers win the title, he owes me $200.
I basically got a free $1.
I tried to get him to take $1,000. That way he had to really be nervous. $200,000, take out a mortgage. 2% chance. I'm higher on the Sixers than Brew.
You sure are.
Maxey is awesome. Embiid's been fantastic. The East is in flux to a degree. The Pistons have been great. They right now have the best record in the whole league. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. But we haven't seen them on a deep playoff run, and they only have one definitive star. And again, that was the profile of the Thunder last year, and they won the title. So I'm not saying they can't do it. The Sixers, though, when you watch them and Embiid looks like Embiid, at least on the offensive end, you like Edgecombe, you love Maxey, 2% chance. I get a very different feeling watching this team. 3% chance. Cleveland Cavaliers.
Wow.
Listen, Donovan Mitchell's unbelievable. And Donovan Mitchell, he has had some playoff letdowns, but he also has had a bunch of very high-level playoff moments. But he's the only guy on that team that can say that. Evan Mobley hasn't had good a ton of good playoff moments. Jared Allen, obviously James Harden. And there is a little bit of scar tissue of this team winning 60 games last year and then falling so flat in the playoffs. Now, they want to blame it on Darius Garland and the toe and all that. Fine. I am not as much of a believer in the Cavs as some others. 4% chance. Rockets. Team vibes don't seem great.
Well, that's fair.
The injuries might be too much. No Van Vliet, no Steven Adams.
Van Vliet would help them a lot.
A lot, especially because Udoka does not seem to just want to lean into Reed Shepherd. And Reed Shepherd's a flawed player, but you took him in the top 4. Yeah. He gives you some offense. You got to play him.
Yeah, I agree.
You've got to create more space on the court. With that said, they were a frisky 2 seed last year that lost in a battle. They still are a very deep team. Durant is way better than Jalen Green, and we'll see if KW was right that I underrated Şengün. 5% and rising, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Like it.
Rich Paul came out and said Anthony Edwards is best player in the league. I disagree with Rich. However,
who's Anthony Edwards represented by?
I'd have to check. Is he a clutch client?
Yes,
I didn't even know.
I'm pretty positive.
Here is the thing, though. Last night he looked like it. On any given night, he can look like the best player in the league. That part's true. He is not night to night over the course of the season the best player in the sport, but he can go, if they play the Thunder in a playoff series, I think it's absolutely on the board that for those 2 weeks he's better than Shea. I think that he has that ability. I think that's reasonable.
He's in that class.
And he's been to back-to-back conference finals.
Yep.
I think Finch is an excellent coach. Give him 5% chance. Now the slices get bigger. The Knicks, 8%. I'm not as down on them as Brew. They are healthy. They have been building towards this. Everyone knows their role on that team. And Jalen Brunson's a playoff killer. Now, we'll see if come the playoffs, the Thibodeau out, Mike Brown in move was worthwhile. They obviously thought that's what they needed to get over the hump and to be a better playoff team. We'll find out. But I am giving the Knicks more than a puncher's chance to, for the first time this century, win the Eastern Conference. And then you see. 10% chance, Detroit basketball. It is a perfect team for that city's basketball history, a tough, hard-nosed team with, one star who always has the ball in his hands and then guys who know their role. They are overflowing with confidence and toughness. And Cade checks all the boxes of super-duper star. The number one pick, the great pedigree, all of it, and having an MVP caliber season. 12%, Boston. This will jump.
This is including, so this isn't including.
This is, if it were announced today Tatum was out and not coming back, I'd put them around where Philly is. If it were announced today Tatum is coming back next week, I'd put them at like 20. So I split the difference. And so it's higher than they deserve this moment. It's lower than I would have them with Tatum. But I think with Tatum, they can win the championship. And I don't think they need Tatum to be first-team All-NBA Tatum. I just think they need to be better than Baylor Shireman Tatum, and they're a better team. Just above Boston, Bruce San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. We haven't seen it since Bill Walton in '77, where your best player has never been to the playoffs, and it's just like, well, I'll just win the championship my first year. Walton had similar hype, by the way, as Wemby. Different, yes. But Walton's the greatest college player of all time. And they seem better than most at being able to withstand the inevitable playoff injury. Not to Wemby, but because of the depth and because they have enough quality role players, they could have their second or third best guy miss a couple weeks and maybe be okay. And then up at 20%, the Denver Nuggets, who, listen, they're just 17-16 in their last 33, which is not great after the awesome start they had, I think 21-6. But they have withstood the Aaron Gordon injury. I think come the playoffs, Michael Porter Jr. out, Cam Johnson in will be good, and Joker's as good as ever, which is why they are just barely behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, who we will find out, Brew, if this Thunder team is different than all of our last half dozen defending champs, because, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again just quickly, it's not just that no one since the Steph Durant Warriors in 17-18 has repeated. No defending champion since the Steph Durant Warriors has made the finals. No defending champion since the Steph Durant Warriors has made the conference finals. Wow. Every single defending champion has lost by round 2 or earlier. We will see if Oklahoma City can.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they have all lost. The Warriors missed the playoffs outright. The Lakers lost in round 1. The Bucks lost a heartbreaker in 7 games when Middleton went down to your Celtics. The Raptors post Kawhi were not a contender. The Nuggets lost in round 2 to the Timberwolves and Rudy Gobert, and the Celtics lost in round 2 to the Knicks. No one's even come close to defending their title.
That's interesting.
It's not bad. I got some bonus takes.
Oh yeah, he wrote
on Fleek.
Bonus takes incoming.
Bonus takes
he even put it in
on Fleek.
This
Before
is
I
just
get to
going to
my
be a
main issue,
yeah.
I've got some bonus.
Yeah.
All right, first bonus take. Get the Clippers and the Sixers out of there. Zero chance. Yeah. I'm sorry. I would love nothing more than Joel Embiid to fulfill his potential. I got to see it to believe it. All right? So,
They're
zero chance. They're 12-14. I said it yesterday when he doesn't play. Maxi's great, but by himself, he's not leading you anywhere.
So.
All right, so they're out. Lakers, I'm just going to drop from 0.5 to 0.00001. All right, that's how much chance they have. That's just respect for LeBron, just throwing them on there for that.
Not even
Luka. Minnesota, I'd switch them in the Knicks. Just switch them in the Knicks. Okay.
This is a lot of ball.
And Boston, I hear you. If you're not, I was thinking, okay, you're including Tatum, giving him 12%. I wouldn't go as high as 20, even though I think they'd have a good chance with him. But I'll let that slide. But my real take is San Antonio. I think the order is fine. I might, in a few weeks, move San Antonio ahead of Denver. But I'm going to move San Antonio's piece to 18%. Huh? So 22, 20, 18, and I think with some of the pieces I've taken out, it fits. Sure. So, look, that Portland team, you mentioned Bill Walton, similar in that he was a great defensive player, led the league in blocks that year like Wemby, great passer. Some people would say he's the best passing big man of all time. Yeah. Some might still say that. I think it's clearly Jokic. And he was not a huge scorer. I mean, Wemby's at 24.
Both played
Walton
chess,
was like 18.
Yeah.
Very smart, both of them, very smart. Yeah. So similar to, and that team had never been to the playoffs.
Correct.
Not just Walton, the team, Portland. So.
I'll be honest with you, the bonus takes and the regular take are very similar. The bonus takes.
So I had a feeling you were gonna have. I was curious what you were gonna say because I thought you were gonna say the Spurs deserve a bigger piece. I was interested if you were gonna say they deserve to be ahead of either of those two teams. But I think the point you made yesterday does give the end of this regular season real juice in the Western Conference, which is. The 1 seed really matters.
Yep.
Like not just for home court.
No, yeah, I'm not even talking. It would matter if it were the bubble. I'm not talking about home court. I'm talking about that if we think Thunder, Nuggets, Spurs are cut above, the 1 seed is only going to have to beat one of them, and the other two are going to have to,
and they might be worn down by the time they get to the finals.
Big thing.
Also, Nick is officially now the Clippers guy. He put the Clippers on there. The Clippers?
I would never be the Clippers
guy.
KW?
9?
You're the Clippers
10?
guy, dude.
If anything
That's
is,
right.
if anything is being
how you putting them in there?
All of my takes post really Mahomes' injury.
Yeah.
I am just ensconced, cloaked in nothing but fairness.
That's true.
There's nothing. I wish I wasn't.
There's a 10 seed,
I
but
wish
they got
I wasn't.
a chance to win it
I'm out
all.
here advocating for the Celtics. I'm defending Josh Allen. I'm saying the Clippers have a 0.5% chance. I just have to be fair.
I think you're totally fair. If you watch this show, I feel like you can tell when we're passionate about something, and you can tell when we're a little bit at odds with ourselves. So, for example, Brew, as a student of NBA history, knows that an injury-plagued superstar is basically drawing dead for the championship, and that's why you say things like Philadelphia 0, passionately. Brew also is the show's Wemby guy, but he also knows and is a huge fan of experience. You're holding on to that Bill Walton comp. But outside of that, the rest of the 75 some odd years, it hasn't happened. Because you're a fan of experience, I'm actually glad you did not take this team, although it was part of your bonus takes. Minnesota. I'll pop them up around 10%. You do the math on what you want to do.
So they're ahead of the Knicks.
Maybe, I'll put them at 10% or more. Most playoff wins in the last 2 years, pretty good. OKC won the championship. The Celtics won the championship. Pacers got, 23. And the Wolves are right there with, how many? They have 18. Now the challenge is, Brew, as you know, historically, it's hard to go to the finals after losing back-to-back times in the conference finals. It only happened a handful of times. The Pacers in 2000, the Bulls won the title, and the 1974 Celtics. I thought it was a good thing.
I did not know that.
I didn't know either. I mean, I don't know how many teams have actually are in the running for it. But I believe in Anthony Edwards. I believe in Chris Finch. I do think that team somehow gets better as the playoffs approach. The weird thing about this team and why their seed is not so high, they will fall asleep at times.
Yeah.
They have lost to New Orleans. They've lost to Memphis twice. They lost to Chicago, Utah, Brooklyn, Sacramento.
I like that.
So you like that they fall asleep?
I like that because I didn't know
that
this
they have dumb
either.
losses?
Yeah, because now I feel like that means by definition their record against the best teams is better than their overall record would suggest.
They beat OKC twice.
Right. It means that when they're playing
Spurs,
when they're up for a game, they're game competition.
Even in the playoffs, they'll have those games. Like, we lost by 30. Like, we'll get them next time, and then it works. So I'm moving Minnesota up till 10 or 12.
I like that.
I don't dislike that at all. I think that Minnesota's the issue is going to be. This is going to sound obvious, but if we think that with what the Lakers are looking like, that it's not like there are 6 viable Western Conference teams, there's 5.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, making sure that that you can just get Houston, I guess, is the team you want in round 1 if you're Minnesota. You certainly don't want any of the 3 teams above you, and you're not going to catch the 3 teams above you. And then, I don't know, I just would feel, I guess we've seen Minnesota beat Denver. If Denver, I guess.
I'd be scared to draw. If I was Denver, I'd be terrified to draw Minnesota.
Yeah, so maybe that's the team they would want. Listen,
I don't want to play Luka either.
I respect, well, they trounced the Lakers last year.
I just don't want, I still.
But that wouldn't be, the only way I think Minnesota could play the Lakers realistically is if both won in round 1, and I think that's unlikely. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.